Okay. All right. Music. There we go. Okay. Quirky thing. All right. Hold on. There we go. Is anybody else hearing it? Echo? Hold on.
No, I don't hear one.
Is anybody else?
It's coming from you.
All right. Hold on a second. All right. Sorry about that. I had another link open, and great. We're finally here. And I'm going to have everything together here today. It's been a long day for me. I'm actually getting ready to go on a trip. I'm going to go down to Florida and maybe meet up with Dylan Monroe, and who's part of the Deep State Mapping Project. There's an event going on in Tampa. Yeah, that's going to be on the 15th of this month. So anyhow, but great. We have our two guests here today, special guests that were I know Steve was in the Alpha Squad, and I think Christy, you were too. Is that correct, Christy? You're in Alpha? Okay. All right. So I was also in the Alpha Squad. My AKA name was Agent Sabretooth, and I was trained as an assassin sniper expert. But this particular show, what we'll do is we'll start off with explaining a little bit what that is. And so from what my understanding of the Alpha Squad, at least what I was told, is that Alpha was a group of formed from a group of super soldiers that worked for different mercenary corporations, planetary corporations that were negative. So what happened is some of these people rebelled or escaped. They were slated for extermination. And so they met up with other people just like them, and they started creating their own squad. And in the current time, in the here and now, there's about 100 members of Alpha Squad. But in the future, when we have the getting into, hold on a second, I'm hearing
James,
feedback.
Your camera is like really slow, like looking like it's like you're moving slow. I hear you, but you're moving slow.
Steve, can you confirm? Is it slow?
Oh, it's fine.
It's
okay,
fine.
Christy, it might be your if your Wi-Fi. Yeah, try to plug into the Ethernet or go closer to Wi-Fi. But anyway, as long as you can hear me, I guess that's what's important. So, and we can hear you too, Christy. So yeah. So in the future, planet Earth is going to flip, and what's known as the Alliance. Hold on, I'm hearing feedback. I don't think I'm going to mute.
Yeah, mute me. Okay.
Mute you, Christy. Okay, we got. Okay, no feedback. I don't. Okay, so in the future, planet Earth's going to flip, and then what's going to happen is the Galactic Federation is going to leave this sector, and humanity is going to be left to fend for themselves. So in the future, the Alpha Squad will grow, eventually become tens of thousands of people, be the most elite squad of super soldiers out there. But so yeah, think of this show, or I guess what game, Halo. Halo would be similar to what the Alpha Squad Council, where they would they would clone out the super soldiers. They have the opportunity to do that. It's not the only way to do it. So there's cybernetics involved. So anyway, so either Steve or Christy, what else what else would you like to add to that definition of Alpha Squad?
We work closely with Space Force now. And a lot of galactics, a lot of Arcturian energy is involved with the Alpha Squad now. And it's been absorbed into the U.S. military through the Air Force and the Navy as well. So it's really a higher up echelon of elite soldiers that do a lot of hard missions in the astral realms and break a lot of frequency jammers, barriers that prevent us from building a diamond grid all over the universe.
Okay. Christy, you want to add anything to that? What do you think? Unmute yourself. There you go.
Yeah. So I was seeing another thing too, like with Misha, and all of us like at a school when we was like Alpha Squad though. Remember that? We were talking about that, Steve, when we went to she had like an academy of all of the Alpha Squad, and then she was like sending us out in space to be like
we train them. We train soldiers now.
Yeah.
To become into the Alpha. And the Alpha Squad is just like the elite, like 99 members, which is it's based on numerology. 9 plus 9 is 18, plus 1 plus 8 is 9. So it's all based on numerical values, in my opinion. That's what I've seen.
Yeah. So I was kind of just seeing that, like we was at some kind of academy thing, and she was the head teacher, or what was her role? I forgot. Commander, like space.
Commander. Yeah,
Yeah.
she has her own ship, and we
Mhm.
go out and do missions with other
Yeah.
soldiers.
I mean, that's kind of what I was seeing. So just different timelines of, but it's like we were helping patrol space. You know, like she would send a team out to do these different missions and stuff, and like kind of be like a security or something for alien. You know, like I guess maybe that's kind of like a mediator, or you know, something like that too. Maybe something like that. So I think so. That's kind of feels right too, because it's all the people that I drew in that picture that are having the meetings with the ETs, like they maybe appear on a hologram or something too. Then they're all Alpha Squad, you know, the people. So yeah, I think we have different jobs in the future with the ETs and like that. Meeting like with the, even I seen one meeting with the White Draco Queen, and me and Arkeem was mediating, like it kind of in the middle, listening to both sides or something too, but kind of keeping the peace, maybe like peacekeepers in a way too, something like that.
Yeah, we do a lot of humanitarian work,
Mm-hmm.
rescuing children, and breaking up frequencies
Yeah.
that are real heavy and dark.
Yeah, I've seen us all kind of go down into a cave, and then we're getting children out of the cages too. You know, and it's like the Alpha Squad is, it's not the whole team. It's just different teams go to different things. You know, so that's how that's how I was kind of seeing this, kind of the same thing too. I think that's kind of, I don't know if it's already happened in some places, or why I can see it already, you know, because it's like a memory. So might be something different. I don't know.
So in my book, Lone Wolf, pull it up again. Yeah, I go into a little bit about the Alpha Squad. One of the members of the squad that I was working with, his name is Alex Diaz, and Alex was AKA Bloodstreak, and he was trained to use blunt weapons. So in the year and now, he got triggered and murdered his girlfriend. So I pulled the interview down, but I still have the notes from our meeting. But there was another guy in on our same squad. His name was on this little. I guess when they sent us out on this mission, he was there with me. At least what we were able to remember. But his name was Adam. So Adam, his AKA is hold on. It'll come to me. Okay, maybe. All right, I forgot. But so hold on. It will come to me eventually.
Yeah,
Sorry, it's been a long
in
day.
the
But
book.
Adam was trained in explosives. So yeah, we went down this mission. Hold on, I'm hearing feedback.
Yeah.
So, Dreadnought, aka Dreadnought. All right. So yeah, so he was we went down this mission on Mars. We went down this tunnel, and we were instructed to kill these reptilians that were still around. And there was a fight that took place between the humans and the reptilians, and the reptilians were really pissed and angry because they said that humans started it. And so we listened to what they said and we let them go. So I don't think we were working for Alpha at this point, but this particular, yeah, we did get punished. So that might have been with Kruger, that particular memory. But yeah, so what Alex described is they put him in this chair where they would stick a needle in the back of his spine, and they would inject him with a drug called Ananubis or Ananubis or something like that. I couldn't. He wasn't remember exactly what it does. It prevents you from losing consciousness while they torture you. So yeah. So anybody want to comment about that? Why I'm actually looking for the event in Florida. People are asking for it in the chat. So give me a moment. So somebody else talk, Christy or Steve. You guys unmute yourself. Yeah.
Oh, I don't have many memories before Alpha, except that when we escaped, and I'm sure there was a lot of bad stuff going on, but more or less, I just remember everything afterwards of what occurred.
Were you still talking about Alpha Squad or Kruger? Did you want to talk about
Kruger,
being
the
in the?
Kruger stuff.
Oh, okay.
I was involved with a lot of the Nazi stuff though, but I was never a part of it. I was always against the dark agendas that they were with. So I had a relationship with the Vril Society with Maria Orshik, and I didn't like what she was doing, so I stopped. I was actually warning her everything's going to implode, and it all did. So I was against a lot of this stuff. We were more into sacred practices of achieving higher consciousness and using darkness to achieve that goal. So
Hmm.
whatever happened there, I was totally against.
All right. Well, let's just get this over with. In case, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. I'm sorry for kind of breaking this up here, but let's see here. Here we go. Can you see it? 15th to the 16th. So it's gonna be over near is it Treasure
Mhm.
Island, Indian Shores on the 15th, and then Daryl James is gonna be there on Sunday, the after party. So if you want to meet Daryl James, he's gonna be there. I think Matthew Morian, he's coming. Of course, Dylan Monroe, the deep state guy, mapping guy. So yeah, it should be a fun event. So get your. Well, it's not even getting a tickets. I don't think it's it's just a little gathering of people. So I'll hope to see you there. Okay. All right. There you go.
Next weekend, yeah.
Okay. So
That's July. That's July. This is
yeah.
June stuff. Okay.
It's July. It's July now, Christy. But can you? Yeah. Do we need to go over? How about we go over to the Presidio information? So Steve, you have something you wanted to share about that.
So my memory of escaping like Montauk or Presidio, I'm not sure where it was, but Christy grabbed the mallet from the maintenance closet and bashed, which I think was Preston Nicholas. He hit him in the head pretty good,
Yeah.
and he was just laying on the front of the computer consoles, and then we all escaped out of the Montauk. And I think this is when like Alpha Squad kind of started. And this must have happened when we were children, maybe when I was like 14, 15, because in 2008, I was getting memories of invading spider caverns. And so I think this happened early in our quest for Alpha.
Yeah. Well, my memory was of that was because you did a guided meditation on me about this, and so you were sitting in the chair, and Preston Nichols was doing the torture, like putting the little things in your fingernails, and you were sitting in there, and he was electroshocking you, and you were like, we was all in a jail cell though, all the kids, and we had to watch him do that, and he would just be doing it and laughing, and just kept on and on and on. And then so what I remember is that I don't know how I escaped or how I got out, but we got the door open, and we knew, I guess I had already had the mallet or rubber mallet, and so I got that and I just swung it and I hit him over the side of the head as hard as I could, and he like fell down, and then he was passed out, or I don't know if he was passed out or dead, I don't know. But then we all got you out of there because you were still strapped, and then we just got you out and probably carried you out because he was like passed out by then, with all the electric shock happening and stuff. So yeah, that's what I remember. And we was all like rebellious like kids and stuff, like 14, 15 years old. And so we got out and we was like beating him up probably too, beating up Preston for doing that, because he would do that to all of us too, and just sit there and do things to all of us and whatever, just messing with us all the time, doing just weird, just little things with the little tools, just I don't know. He just was it just was unnecessary torture, you know. Just I don't even know if it was like a reality though in a way, because it seems like it was like a portal, like he put us there or something too, like a pocket. So I don't know if he did that, if he created it, and or he saw or something like that, because it seems like it's kind of I mean there it's like a image or something that's playing in his mind, like he recreates that image or something. He goes back, like he's, remember I was telling you that he's like obsessed with you. Remember I was telling you that how he always tries to like find you, and like I don't know, he has some kind of an obsession with you, with
So why are they so interested in Steve?
no, with you.
Me? What?
Yes. Yeah.
What? I thought we were talking about Steve. Steve's was on the
No,
track here.
this is you. This is what I'm telling that happened to you.
Well, so the one at Umbrella.
No, no, this is Preston. This,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Well, the thing is, I went to go meet Preston, and I asked him if he had any memories of me, and he said no.
Mhm.
So did like do you think they wiped his mind, or maybe he did?
He, it might be a different, it might be a clone or something, but
I could be probably I'm a
he,
clone too there too.
yeah,
That's
I
some of the
don't
ways
know.
they use us.
Yeah, but he recreates that scene all the time in his mind. He creates scenes where he can mess with kids. He does that all the time. He like opens a portal up and just goes and just watches it all the time, like he's like a, a pedophile, you know, like that, and he just sits there and just watches himself doing the torture, like watching pornos or something, you know, like that. But it's of him doing the torture to the kids, and it's not. He's not like, well, I don't know. I just seen sex stuff happening, but it's not. It's like torture stuff, you know. And he's filming it, you know. He's filming it so he can watch it later. Yeah, it happens where he's doing that. He's like in a dark room and he watches all these. So, anyways, that's just a memory.
So was this at the Presidio as well, or just another little pocket reality universe?
I don't know where the Presidio looks like inside, but it's like a jail cell that we're kept in. And we're all, it's like a big long jail cell. And then this side is just open, like where you would eat or something. But he just has a wooden electrical chair right there. And he just hooks up the head thing and the arms and just has a little tray and just does little things and then stops and turns around because we're all yelling at him like, fuck you, stupid fuck, you know, like yelling at him all the time, like, let him go, let him, you better, but we're behind the jail cell, so he just likes doing that just for fun too, you know, because he's sick, he's a sicko like that, so
Well,
yeah.
I got an example of something that came up. I was working with this Christy, and Christy had a memory of when I rescued her from this underground facility as a super soldier. So we did this regression work. I'm starting to hear feedback. I'm gonna see it. Maybe it's you, Christy. So yeah, it's your mic is feedback. Okay, so what they did is they put her on this table, and they turned the lights off, and they brought these other children in, and then they brought this wild boar, and the wild boar tore the other children apart, and then they kept her in there for 3 days without any food while these children were rotting. And then this reptilian came out and pulled up a piece of the skull, the dead child, the hair, and rubbed it on her arm and asked her, "How does this make you feel?" And then the reptilian asked, "Would you like to eat it?" And then the reptilian said, "James Rink's listening to us." So what the reason I'm bringing this up is I think she was projecting, like remote projecting what happened to me. And it was actually me that was going through that. So that just gives you an example there of some of the things they would do with the dead bodies. They would put the children's with the dead bodies and they would split their consciousness. It's all part of the programming. Yeah. Yeah. Thomas says Presidio is Project Montauk East Coast. It's not the only one. Apparently, there's about 24. I think that's not 24 sub projects under. Was it Project Phoenix? So the umbrella, and then Montauk was just one aspect when that was shut down in 1983. These other projects went on. Montauk 2.0, like Brookhaven, which Jimmy Payne seems to think I was involved there, and that's come up before. But also here on the West Coast in California, under the South Portal Canyon, there's a facility and probably a Presidio. So, anybody like to make a comment about that?
Pretty awful. I remember the chair
Mm-hmm.
from Mount. I think it's from Montauk, or they probably had all the chairs somewhere else too. But I was strapped into it, and then I came out of my astral dream, and I flew into my body, and I flew off the bed, and I fell off the bed pretty high. So I remember some of those memories as being tortured, and it's not pretty. And they would just make us fight each other all the time and split our consciousness, and it wasn't easy to recall a lot of these memories once you were aware of them.
Guys, keep talking. I'm gonna look for. I've got some artwork I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, I don't know because I don't like see a sign that it's Presidio, because you had just done the regression on me, and you said to search for the West Coast, like you was in the West Coast or something, and that's where my mind was in you in that chair. So, I mean, I think it is something around like San Francisco, something like that kind of comes to mind, with that. So. But it seems like it's like a created hologram too, so I'm not sure.
So some of the things they would get the children to do is play fight with each other using wooden swords. So this took place, one of these memories at that white mansion. I think Christy, yeah, actually you were there. We're going to try to do some more work to see what happened to you. But this mansion is in Houston somewhere, but I think it's like in an alternate reality, maybe where the Nazis won World War II. I'm not really quite sure. But George Bush Sr.'s there,
Okay.
and there's this flag. They have the American flag on the right. The left side is this flag. It has it's a black sun in the far left corner, top left, and then there's this symbol of looks like a wolf, a werewolf,
Oh yeah.
holding a swastika, and there is 5 stars around it. So if anybody,
Whoa, that was cool.
is that you, Christy?
No, it said the wolf and then the dog's bark.
Yeah, so they must know where she's saying
cool.
the truth here. Yeah.
No, because I remember, because I think you're talking about the lady who had the regression with you, because she talked to me about it too. Because I don't know that maybe that's a different place, that I went to too with that white mansion, because I'm thinking that this is like the mother of darkness, right? Is this the mother of darkness or no?
The one on Mars, when we're talking about the Thomas stuff, so that's different. Thomas is in one of my other altars. I got the memory back after. Actually, I just interviewed Tony Rodriguez, and I saw myself on Mars. This was right after where I took a nap, and I found myself anyway. So I was basically, there was these caves where they would have these children just move rocks around all day, and they didn't even need us to do it. And I think I was sent there as like punishment for something I did, because I was like maybe only 5 or 6. And at that point, there were, I guess I'll keep, I know we're going a little off topic, but I'll just go ahead and share the story anyway. So they were forcing the kids to move rocks around, but there were some reptilians there, were like kind of like security, and some of the children were just getting tired and lazy, and some of them were very afraid, and they would get eaten. So one day I got really upset because I was just tired being there, and I wanted them to just take me away, and I screamed, and some glass window broke, and then they saw that I had abilities. So Henry Kissinger's assistant, Heinz Humberg, got involved, and he came over and offered me a little candy bar and asked me if I can do some more tricks for him. And next thing you know, I end up in the mansion, and then they treating me like their own family, and they had me go through the whole, I guess, Mars Academy and train in the elite there on Mars. But yeah, Henry Kissinger. These mansions are all in the same area. I think Clinton's had one there. Yeah. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? I guess, Christy, you've
yeah, I helped you find information on it.
With the it looked like one of those old castles.
Yeah, like the Gothic castle.
Gothic castle.
Yeah, it's like a Gothic castle.
And there was there was this room where they had like this star on the floor, and it was built right over the heart chakra of Mars, and they would bring these children in to do these rituals. Because I remember there was like these guys like in robes, and I think they were like shapeshifted, like Heinz Humberg. Yeah, so it has some Draco DNA, but there's like insectoid. It's like a weird mix.
Right.
But yeah, so they would do these rituals, and I don't want to remember what happened in the ritual, but they did stab me with a needle, and I blacked out in that memory. But
yeah, I remember seeing you come, like you did when you were doing the regression, then you was having me look at that too. You know, the memory of you when you went in there as a little kid, and you were like a blonde-headed little boy, walked in, and all these big, tall people were in robes, and they were having like a ritual, and then you went up to Henry Kissinger, sat on his lap or however, but then you just grew up there. You stayed there, and you I guess were kind of, it was all men mostly, like in that house that you lived in. And so then you like you grew up there, and I think you probably had to go to other places too, but I just seen that you stayed, like you lived there at that place.
I was being trained for honeypots.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
I guess they wanted blackmail.
Yeah. I see that now. Yeah.
And that other aspect is still over there now. He's I think he's like 18 or something.
Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once they get to a certain age, once they lose usefulness, they're usually murdered, but whatever.
Well, you're kind of like their family though, because like you grew up there with them, so you're kind of like their family, like they almost adopted you in a way. Yeah. And then I also see you like going to like lunch with James Casbolt too. Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's interesting. I remember this other kid, Evan. He told me he had memories of me in the mess hall. And so does anybody else here, like Steve, Christy, do you remember seeing each other in the mess hall? Or
off the rings of Saturn, usually around Saturn. That's where I remember. And I remember blowing milk on my nose and everyone laughing about it. I got a memory of that, the mess hall stuff.
What was we laughing at? I forgot. I remember
there was the milk coming out of my nose. It was just, I don't know what we were laughing at, but I just remember that being a big memory. Like we're just laughing, and people would do dumb stuff in the mess hall, and we would just have a kick. It was like our time to just chill out and be goofy.
Yeah.
Here's something from, I think it's Bionica wrote this. The mother. Yeah, swimming pools without water, the mother of darkness castles. They would tie us up on the walls, and they use drains not for water. So there's
me and Bianca have the memories of that. Like we was there, but like I guess they would do that. Like those pictures, she remembered the pictures like they showed on the, on the website and stuff with those little kids and stuff like that kind of stuff.
Well, I'm doing some work trying to recover some memories of Gloria Vanderbilt. She would hang us. I mean, I was only there for a weekend with her, but she views herself as this witch, and she was blessing us with her evil. So she would cut the boy. They would hang us upside down and cut the boys open in our stomach area, and we would bleed out blood. And I don't really want to remember much else of that, but yeah. So, anybody else have any memories of Gloria Vanderbilt?
No, I just was with George Bush Sr.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any. I've just been more of a soldier for the most part of my existence. So in the SSP.
So Bianca, is it Bianca? I'm gonna say that right.
Yeah. It's
So
Bianca.
she's Bianca. So she's said it was Vanderbilt mention. So I want to mention that I think they might even been sending us kids back in time at some point. So it may not have been in the modern era when they were doing this. Because like for instance,
Yeah, it's with
I
the
remember.
SSP, I think, isn't it? Wasn't it with the SSP?
What about it?
Wasn't it with the SSP like that, like a 20 and back, and they sent you there?
Oh,
Or,
I think it's more through like Montauk. They were
oh,
doing
okay.
that. And part of it was our training. They would send us back in time to these like Mother of Darkness Castle. Yeah, I don't. Let's just move on. I don't want to talk about that. Okay, so let's go back to the alpha. So what else? What else do we got? What about Christy? Are you ready to share what happened at that space station?
The space station. Do you have pictures? Because then I can just, if you
Yes,
have pictures,
yes,
I
I have
can.
your drawings. Just
Yeah.
let me go ahead and pull that up again. So this was tell us about. So this was like a dream that you had when you got this
No
memory.
dream is just it's vision, like a memory.
Okay, and so how does it start off?
I don't see the picture yet.
All right, I don't know which one. I'm gonna just go ahead and bring the first one up. I'm not sure what order it's supposed to be in. So give me a moment here. Let's get this going. Okay, is this the first one you want me at?
Oh, okay, this station. Okay, so
Yeah.
this is gonna be like I don't know if it's like it's on a space station someplace, like a rock or meteor. I think John knew where that was because he made a comment that was on this some station, like a meteor or something. But it's like a big like a living center too. Then there's like little um, it looks like little dome, but it's like a big old housing. There's houses, but this area is separate. This is going to be like the martial arts training center, um, and this is like where you would walk in. I'm just kind of showing how it looked, the memory, where you walk up, and then there's like a desk, front desk, where the workers are, and then you just like check in, or if you're just getting there, because I think people come there just for training, like for a certain time, and it's a kind of like a busy station, so you're not like it's not like a set, like you could come there for a day to train, and I think it's like astral, or something like that. Maybe it's astral, but it is a reality too, so I don't know how to tell what that's kind of, since because other people have memories of it too, but I think you could probably go visit that place in astral as well. But anyway, so it's like a kind of like a dojo too, because it's like you walk in, and then it's like an open floor, so you can see up above. But people live there too, the teachers, and like you can stay there for a year or however long. I don't know the time, but if you're like a teacher there, then you would just live there, and each person has their own bedroom. And this is where you asked me about the amulet too, but so the rooms I have, um, so I don't know if I'm still on that page or not, if you want to go to the next page with it. But there's like 4 floors, and see how it's kind of like open. It's kind of not a very good drawing there, but you can just see from like above, like it's open to above if you're standing like in the little center area. But around the center though, there's like, it looks like a shopping mall or something, like there's rooms, and each one of them have like the martial arts training going on in each one of them. So um, I know that you both are teachers there, and you all are both like celebrities to like the new girls coming in. They all like want to take y'all's classes, and y'all have your Steve is like with his brother, and then you teach a different kind of martial arts, James. But yeah, y'all are like, if I think like I was seeing there's like posters of you guys in the main area, not like in the martial arts area, but like in the main area, like advertising fighting and stuff that's going to be happening, like mixed martial arts stuff kind of thing. Like there would be competing and stuff too, just for show, I guess, or training. However,
Well, it was
there's
training. We
yeah,
were
training.
doing speed courses to see who would get to the center of the map
Oh yeah, okay,
fastest,
yeah. I
and
didn't
that
see
was
that
part of the
part.
Alpha
So yeah,
Squad
nice.
training. Yeah. So,
Hmm.
and there would be teams of other people, and whoever got there faster won the race, and it was just
Yeah.
competing.
But probably wasn't like the Hunger Games where they would kill you.
No, we don't do stuff like that in Alpha Squad. We're, you know, it's like
I think it's
Halo,
just like
kind of.
a Karate
You
Kid
know,
kind of thing, huh? Like where they
we
would
have
just like that, where they
honor.
would just win, like the championship and however. So you both had won stuff like that, like the championship. So y'all have posters up, like if it was at the mall or something, and y'all have posters up, like so you could see people could see that y'all had won the championships and for different fighting and stuff. And I was training there too. I was in a class, and my teacher was my friend Carol. She was teaching me how to do different combat training, like running and endurance and fighting, like a whole group. She would have a whole group of guys like trying to attack, and I kept on like holding back, and she kept telling me to stop holding back because she said that guys are a distraction to you. You need to like focus, stay focused. And so she would just keep on until I just stopped, till I stopped getting distracted, I guess. So and then me and her, she would take me out. This is a different memory though, on a like running and stuff and jumping out of the helicopter and like free falling all the way down to the ground with no parachute. So they send you out on missions and stuff too at this place. So it's like a like a I don't know. It's like a I don't know if it's like a jump room or a portal or something, but you can leave and go do something, maybe like a hologram, but I don't know, but it feels real. So, but it like you could leave and go do something and then come back, and then you just keep on doing it until you master that. So I would have to keep on being jumping out of the helicopter, running up like someone's chasing me up the cliff thing, and then running really fast and jumping off the cliff and grabbing the helicopter. And she kept on doing that with me over and over and over until I got so fast. Like she goes again and again and again. I just have to keep on repeating it. So like that happened. So and I seen Spencer there, and he said he remembered being there, but he was little. And then he said that Penny Bradley was his mother, and she was his trainer there. So I can see they were like down there at the bottom area, and they were really quiet. They kind of stayed to themselves. But Spencer was like he was little, like maybe 8 or something, and they came there a little bit and then they left. I think you have to have like some kind of credits too there. Like you have to have for different training stuff, you have to have credits at this place. So it's like a school thing too. But yeah, if you want to do something else or there's something else, you have to go to this place and get some credits for training there at the place, like a certain amount of hours for whatever you're wanting to do. Um, so yeah, but we all three live there, and we don't really like. We're not like hanging. Nobody really kind of hangs out though. I don't think we do that. We're really just focused on training. That's all we do. So, and at this place though, are you gonna change it to? Is the amulet gonna be on one of these? What's this one here? That's kind of what the outside looks like. It's a bunch of domes, like different housing. Like people live there too. So maybe kind of like a mothership or something. That's kind of like I don't really go all those places. So I just go to the martial arts area. Um, it's back where the drawing was, but um, yeah. And then okay. So yeah. Oh, that one. One more. one more. Yeah. Okay. So leave it right there. So this is like James's. This is what the bedrooms look like. Each person has their own room, and you can't have anybody else. If it's my room, I can't have a guy in there. Nothing like that. They're really strict about that. You have to go out in the open, like it's like a like a balcony, that you can see below, and you can see down below, and you can see them kind of training and stuff too around the edges. But it's like all the housing and stuff. All the rooms look the same. And it's like a desk on the whole wall when you walk in, and then the bathroom like right here, and each person has their own bathroom, and then the bed. It's like a college dorm. They're all like college dorms, and so that's kind of what they all look like. They all kind of have the like a neon color too, like the lighting and stuff in there. Um, and then I don't know if I'm talking about the amulet in this one or not though, but that's where you ask me. You come down there and when I'm training James, and you asked me, like I was training in the class, and then you was like at the back, like waiting for me to finish the class, like watching but kind of waiting, like and then so you're like, hi, and you're like, hey, do you know anything about amulets? And I say, I think so, like I don't think you'd ever talked to me before, so I didn't really know really what was going on or whatever. But um and because we all kind of keep to ourselves, and then you ask, can you come up to my room and I'll show you the amulet, but I guess if I could go in your room, I don't know, I just thought of that because I did go in your room and you had me look at that amulet. So but we're teachers, I don't know. Anyways, I did go in your bedroom and you showed me that, and it was like a locket kind of thing. You open it up and then it like opens up to a hologram thing, like that. Like you're like, what is this? I don't know what this is. Somebody gave it to me. Do you know anything about it? What is all this stuff on there? Because it was like different symbols on it too. Like it opened up, and I didn't really like no, it was I didn't know really what it was. And you're like, okay, thank you, and then you closed it back, so we never really figured out what that was, what the amulet was. And I'd asked Ivan, tell her about it, and he said that it was a reptilian from the reptilians, so but I didn't remember that, so I don't know. And then what else was there? What else is there pictures of on there? And that's just the dorms, what that looks like. Yeah. And yeah,
So
so
go ahead. Let's read this. People who come to train at the center are stationed for their period of time. They have a dorm room to themselves.
yeah,
The window can be of the city or anything you want. It's only an image. There's no TV, no radio.
yeah.
They have library books there. You can have a theater room.
Yeah. Yeah, like down like it's like a college almost, in that area. But it's kind of like a different, like you have to go out like in the main area into where the people are and stuff, and there's like a food court and all that too. But that's like out in the main, you have to leave the martial arts training center to do that. Yeah. And what else is there? That's like this like just how they look, the what am I calling them? They're domes or something. What does it say? I can't read it really.
College life, biospheres, one's for
Biosphere. That's what I was trying to think
something
of.
different.
Biosphere.
Flight school training,
Yeah,
healing,
yeah,
something about
because
healing.
you could learn all kinds of stuff. Like that's just different biodomes and places to go to. Like people can go and train there for those things. Like if you were doing needing healing or something, then you could go to that. Like it's like a school, I guess too. And flight school too. I remember that flight school.
Oh wow. Okay, so this one says Where are they sent to? I'm sure it's a hologram. The mountain desert is a hologram. The students go into with the controls for how many of the fat. I don't know how fast. After the training level is complete, then you go. You really are sent on assignments. Outside the training, there is a biosphere that tests for training. Okay, Gladiator is very different, but in this, you can go become a star of the show. People
Like the
can come
martial
watch.
arts, yeah, like the mixed martial arts, like we were talking about. Y'all were like
Okay.
the stars.
This is refundable reward though. This is rewarded. You can get more things from the. Hold on, let me just get this a little bigger here. You get more things, but while in training, you don't leave till completion. Then
Yeah,
you go to other biospheres.
yeah, if you want to.
Other classes. Okay. Well, there's
Yeah.
a biosphere.
Okay. I think that's all with that, with the martial arts training. And so
All
this is
right.
a different memory of me and you and Steve, and you're flying the helicopter there, James, and then me and Steve are gonna jump out and into the ocean there, and then you fly off. So and then we call in like the dolphins, and they come and pick us up, and they take us to the base, or they take us to like there's like a Stargate in the ocean too there, and so we can communicate with them telepathically, or we can also communicate with them through their sound too. So we know how to make the sound. I guess we have dolphin DNA or something. I guess we would need an injection or dolphin DNA or something like that, be able to communicate with them, I guess. But they would we could call them, and so they would do that with different people. Like the next time it might be like um, Steve flying the helicopter, and then you and someone else jumping, or me and you. So it's just training like that, and then you're training to be dropped off in the middle of the ocean, and then you got to figure out how to get back to the base. So you have to really learn how to call the dolphins, if because they help you swim back to the base, or swim to the Stargate, whatever it's like missions, but it's like training missions that you're doing, so whatever you have to do, um, like there is the Stargate under there, we swim down there with the dolphins and go through it, and it takes us to another reality too. So this reality that they take it that I've seen was like a really cold ocean, and then it's like a abandoned base there. So I don't know where that is, but I guess we go and kind of search for abandoned bases. Or you said relics, right, Steve? You said something
Yeah,
like
there's relics all under the floor from
Mhm.
after the big flood. There's all these pyramids under there, and there's lost relics. So we will go down there and retrieve them. And there's also deep underground military bases under there too that we try to clear out. So there's lost relics, and then you got the domes too. So that's what all this training's for.
Yeah,
We're using the dolphins to help us get to places better,
yeah,
faster.
right. Hmm.
Oh wow. So you were full of telepathic communication with the dolphins.
Yeah, all three of
Yeah.
us. All three of
Okay.
us. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, telepathy is like a very normal way of communicating in higher dimensions. So it's not even like a hard thing to do at all for higher beings. It's actually one of the prerequisites to start talking to higher dimensional entities is learning to use your telepathy and honing in on your skills.
There's a
Okay.
couple more pictures of that.
Do you remember what the portal looked like that they would go through?
It's just like a big ring, like it looks like in the ocean, and I guess it would be maybe like it would appear to us because we would be doing we would it would be a set mission, to have to go through that. So we would know, we would tell we'd be dropped off, and then tell the dolphins to take us down to that port. It's like a port, and it's just like it's like enough to where you could swim through it, and then it opened up, and then and they didn't go through it, just we did. And then we went over like this way, and there was like a tunnel thing that we went up, and then we came up underneath it. So we looked around to see, and there was nobody at that base. It was like abandoned, so we kind of had to like look around, and it was kind of like vacant too, like they took everything, so we didn't find anything in that one. But we're just like searching for relics or for I guess just whatever we're looking for. I don't know. I think it's probably going to be different every time too with what we're sent to look for. So
Yeah, we try to retrieve a lot of power sources that help bind this universe together energetically. So it's important to find that stuff.
Certainly, like the
is there
Nazis
another
were looking
picture
for the
on
spear
there?
of destiny. Huh?
And then another picture that there's like two
Oh, yeah.
more. Yeah.
Going to the
That-
Seagate. Yeah, the Seagate and the Stargate over here. We also got Ocean Alien Base.
Yeah. That's what we got to go to. So sometimes it's the alien base too. So this one is, I guess it is going to be an alien base, but it's abandoned, because it was like was it like the ancient builder? Would it have been that? I don't know what it would be, but it's like it's an alien human bases that are abandoned, Yeah. And
Wow.
there's another one more picture, I think.
Okay.
Oh, that's kind of like what the helicopter looked like, because it's kind of like an advanced. And I asked Ivan about this, and he said that it's currently a current, like it's a current timeline, and I think it's like a Black Ops. It's not Black Ops though. This wouldn't be Black Ops, but it's maybe covert. Is that covert? It would be secret, so he couldn't tell me much about it.
Yeah, it
Oh,
probably has cloaking mechanisms.
You talked about the Deep Six, Steve.
Oh, that's dismantling dark energies, AI, dark AI, and anything that involves dismantling my labs and umbrella bases and stuff. That's all Deep Six. And we're also going in the water to dismantle a lot of stuff as well. That's the Deep Six. That's what it was labeled. That's what Ivan told me.
Yeah.
And
with the system.
it resonated a lot with me when you said that too. That's
Yeah.
definitely a code name that I can see being used.
Yeah.
So
I think that's what the name of the thing is then. Something like that, Deep Six.
it's all about dismantling dark energies that aren't for the highest good of people.
All right, so we got
Yeah.
this one-on-one side training. So this is actually a shared memory where I see myself in this, looks like a concrete, all concrete walls. There's one table in there with two chairs. I don't think there was a clock in this room,
Right.
but yeah, somebody was just asking me, what do I know? And I just kept saying, I don't remember, I don't know. And I just started crying, and then this tall gray comes walking in the room, and I'm like, okay, that's enough of that. And I blacked out.
Yeah.
But Christy, what
tell
can
me
you
that,
tell us?
after you
Yeah,
tell me, then I saw you, like you appeared in my memory after you said that, because I remember like being protective of you there, because like I seen, like you appeared in that. I didn't see you until you said that. Whenever you said it a month ago or so about the tall gray. But this is like this is a hangar base, and this is part of the SSP though, that the 20 and back, because we're taken here when I was like 14 to 16 years old, me and James. But there's other people there that I see, but you're just paired up with the like the outside. This is inside, but outside you're paired up with and like I'm paired up with James, and so it's just opposite, sex that's paired up. And there's only 4 people at the table outside, and that's all. There's not like a classroom outside. They have it inside, but not outside. And it's 11:11. So outside though, then that tall gray, and I think it's I don't know if it's a female or male, kind of seemed both. They walk, I'll just say she walk around like with her hands behind her back, and just like observing. And she gives us the targets, and me and James um, are like communicating with each other. I'm sure telepathically. I'm sure we have this ability already if we're down underneath in the base, but they're giving us a target to look at, and so we're doing that. We're finding what they're asking us to, and then downstairs in the base, like you go inside the hangar and then down the elevator, and then it's like a big old bunch of hallways. But this is one of the rooms in there. It's not exact, like James said. It doesn't have like and the door seems like it's over this way. So it's just an example of what that looks like, just to help us remember. But then, because there is like because it's a interrogation room, because there's a window there too, but um, everybody knows what an interrogation room looks like. And so then you would be like sitting there on this side, and then the reptilian came in and sat down and whatever. Like at first, it was kind of like adjusting to his energy or however, because a lot of times I think they would give you like a lot of injections so you could like do the stuff. And then eventually, though, he was training you to like withstand a psionic attack. Like he would sit across from you at the table, and this is part of class. You go there for training, and this was for 2 years. And he would just be training you to withstand and to give a psionic attack. So you would have to give him a psionic attack too. So or however, that where he could feel it at least, and so that's just the whole course. The whole time is that, and then upstairs is the remote viewing. And I remember that me and James, we had finished like the advanced course, like we was in the top of the class. We graduated like the top students of that class, so our handlers, who mine was George Bush Sr., and James's was the Heimlich, however, uh, what's his name? How do you say it?
Himmler? Heinrich Himmler,
Yeah, and he
the guy
was.
that was responsible for the Holocaust.
Yeah.
Is he's your handler on the Mars base?
Uh, it all depends on what group. I mean, Peter the Insider told me that I served for 330 years.
No, on the
So,
on the Mars base, on the mansion, Warrior Thomas. Who's the handler?
Heinz Humberg.
Yeah, so he's like your handler. So he
Okay.
appears there at this graduation ceremony after you and me graduated, like in that top of the class. And then so they got a check. I don't know how much it was for. I just know that they were rewarded a check each. And then they were each given 10 clones to take to Mars and the moon and to do whatever they want to with it, program them however they want, And that was their um, award, for our good work, So we didn't get anything though, because after that, then we were 16, and then we were separated. Then after that, I didn't see you again after that. But then George Bush Sr. took me to the moon first, and like through a jump gate or however, I don't know, and then to Mars, or the Mars and the moon, one of those. But we did both of those, and he had me and him had he combined our DNA and some of the clones too, and did all kinds of experiments with those clones. Like he regressed them, and he would make them into like ultra soldiers to put them out in the fighting. But he would just do it just to like on Mars, really. But I do think that he did send those soldiers out like in space elsewhere too, not just the moon and Mars. Seems like he was doing like um, shady deals too, like just to make more money or however. So, anyways, that's kind of, I don't remember everything with that because I think that I was like in maybe a stasis or a clone or something because he I don't know exactly. That memory then isn't clear of what happened. With
So we were probably like 14 years old.
we were 16 when we graduated that, so we were 16 till 25 because it was like a 20 and back, So it was like 16 till like we was 25, and we was going to. The memory is not clear, so I don't know what happened to my consciousness. He maybe split my consciousness
Okay.
or something.
Well, so Steve, do you have any memories of psionic training?
Not too much.
Okay.
No. Everything that I have, my memories all started in 2019 after I had my
Yeah,
Kundalini
that's right
awakening.
too.
And then I started getting a lot of these memories in of battling and being in some of the programs as a child, and a lot of stuff after that. A lot of battles that occurred in 20 and recent too. So I'm really recent with the Alpha Squad of what's going on right now in the here and now. So all my memories of my past, I just have little glimpses, but nothing like crazy concrete.
Yeah. So this is the mother of darkness, and that's where I was sent to. Um, this is before the I was like 11 to 14 years old, and or 13, however, 13, 14 years old. Because at 14 I was sent to the remote viewing training and that base. So this was kind of like the house, an example. It's kind of like the Psycho house or the Bates Motel house, because I remember like going in, and then there's like the stairs, and then I room with two girls upstairs on the left, and then they were. This is part of the I don't know if it's part of the SSP. It might be like, but it is part of the 20 and back. So with my and all they did there was SRA. All the time I had two. They had me and the other two girls there, but then they would bring in girls too, like the men, really wealthy, like a network of men would and women too would bring in girls, and because I see Hillary there too, um, and then they would have us like lay on the table thing, and um, it I don't know why I have anxiety all of a sudden with that, but I did. But anyway, they lay us on the table and then do the sex rituals, impregnate all the girls, and then like a couple months later, however, they would have another ritual where they aborted the fetus. So I don't know if it was like all at once when they were doing those abortions. I don't think so, but they did do the ritual where that all of them were getting impregnated, and we all had to we had to be, have so many babies. Like we had to keep producing. If we didn't produce, we got kicked out of that house, out of their house, and they probably got like eaten or something like that. But I don't know what
Well,
happened.
Daryl James commented that they were doing that to him, that they would force you to go to the brothel while he served, and the children from these honeypots were being used for adrenochrome.
Oh,
So,
okay. Uh-huh. Then that makes sense then, where they would go
yeah.
to. Yeah. So the ones that didn't produce, didn't get pregnant all the time to have the babies so they could have them as food for ritual there at these Mothers of Darkness houses, then they would get kicked out of the house and sent to wherever, like you just said. So, but George Bush Sr. was my handler at the place there, and I always remember I had to do good for him always. It's like part of the programming, for him, to always do a good job because he always got awards for my behavior, for how good I did or how many babies I could have for them in the ritual. And he got there was on at the end of the time, then there was like a circus kind of looking show that they all had to go to, and he walked me in there, and he was given like an envelope, like to the person on the right here would give each person the envelope, the handler, and we just had to sit down. It was like a circus, looked like a circus tent, and then so we had to wait, and like the clowns came out with like a spinning wheel thing, and then they called all the mothers up to there, and just the top 3 mothers one like passed the course or however, and then the other ones had to get on that wheel, and the clowns threw knives until they were all dead, and then they wheeled those back there, and then they called all the kids up to the front, and then the top 3 kids won, and then they made the rest of them do the same thing, get on the wheel, and the clowns like threw those knives until they're all dead, and then they just wheeled them back too. And I remember that I made the top of there too, because George Bush got another check there, and he was really happy, and they that I, always done like good for him, I guess, producing. It was all about like producing the baby, like embryo, and one after another. You have to always eat right and do things like diet and things just to make you be able to produce an embryo for their rituals. And they would have those all the time, those rituals. And those girls were really mean to me too. They would mess with my food, so I couldn't eat, and then I would get in trouble and get sent to the dungeon area and then get beat because I didn't eat my food. And then they would rip my dresses because we had to wear really pretty dresses too to those ceremonies. And then at the end of those ceremonies, then they would all be ripped up, from them like going crazy, like doing the raping and stuff to all those. I can look at it because I'm not. I can look at it like from an observer perspective now in some of it. Some of it I still can feel it, but I try not to get into it so I don't feel it, the what they're doing, but I can see it like I'm from above or something like that. But all the girls in there, some of them are being torn to pieces. So you see body parts like on the floor, at these places too. And then after that, they just throw all the girls in the dungeon in the dungeon to sleep there, for the night, till their handler comes back the next day, because they're like all high and stuff from the ceremony, and we're like all beat up and dresses all torn up. So yeah, it's pretty traumatic.
Oh wow, I'm sorry you had to go through that. Maybe what about you, Steve? Do you have memories of Bush Senior?
No, I don't have any memories of having been involved with Bush Senior.
Do you have memories of being in a cage, like with ibis, with animals, where you try to take on the characteristics?
No, but I don't doubt that it might have happened. I just haven't recovered those. I haven't recovered many of my traumatic childhood memories of being in the SSP before Alpha. I just remember escaping and then going on missions and to break up a lot of stuff in the Alpha Squad. So.
And there was this one mission where you said you saved my life. So what was going on with that one?
So Christy showed me a photo of what you had, like dark circles on your eyes and stuff, and I was just looking into the energy of everything, and I went back into I went to this cavern memory where we raided some sector in the Orion's near the Mintaka star system, and as we raided this cavern, there was real heavy and thick energy, and people's hearts were exploding. Well, you happened to be one of the soldiers that hearts exploded, and you were laying on the side of the cavern in this past memory that I had. So I was kind of revisiting you, time traveling in the astral, and I picked you up, and then we were able to resuscitate you, but it wasn't complete because it wasn't your full soul. It was just like an aspect of you. So what happened was we re-energized the Tetragrammaton to fight another battle after we were with you. And that gave us the location where you were in Umbrella. And then the next day I was able to locate you, and I teleported to your location because I have a sacred connection to you. We shared DNA, and that allowed me to get right into the bottom of I didn't have to circumvent any way to get in except just teleport to your location. And then that's when I started ripping up the the tables. I was going crazy. I laid on your chest, and I was crying too. It was really emotional what was occurring, and then I saw your handler. He was running around all freaked out because he didn't expect anyone to be there, and you had a VR system on you, and the Palladians were monitoring too. So you have a really strong Palladian connection, because that was like what I saw. The ship came down, they blew out a hole, and then we proceeded to clean out that umbrella base after we got you out. And we used a lot of Lincoln Park energy too. That was coming in strong because Chester Bennington was fighting a lot of this stuff before he passed away. So he's still involved in the astral dismantling a lot of the SSB stuff. So we dismantled the core. It looked like a poop core. Actually, Christy had a image of it, but I didn't send it to you in time. It was like black. It was brown and red with lines sticking into it. So my mentor actually, he went into the core, dismantled it, because we didn't know how to do it because it's like really bad energy. And my mentor, he's a druid. He's all into the dark energies and stuff. So he was able to go in there and eat it up. We processed it. We did it all. We removed it, and we reprogrammed the computers to accept the diamond light, and then we energized the whole system. So that's what we do, is we go into these bases and we dismantle whatever and then clean it all out. We get the women and children free. We bring them to frequency barriers. We're in undisclosed locations where we free them from their frequency. I've seen that. Actually, what you regressed me to seeing that, and I almost broke down in tears when you regressed me when I saw that. And it's just very heartwarming to see what we're doing up there. We're just making way for the diamond light, so people's consciousness and their hearts can finally be connected together. And that's what the Alpha Squad does. We're very honorable people, and we're very loyal too.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, so you go down this ventilation shaft. There are computer mainframes, security cameras. You disable them. Use these metal stars to knock out their weapons. So something about your tetragrammaton becomes active.
Tetragrammaton, yeah.
What is that?
That's the power source of the universal grid that we made in this universe, and it's based off of Hebrew texts. And Nessim Hassim, he talks a lot about this, and it forms the platonic solids that are in nature. So this is the energy that creates the fields and the pathways of the tree of life, and we use that energy in our bodies to connect to crystals so they can oscillate in our suits.
It looks like the star, doesn't it? Like a pentacle. Does it look like a pentagram?
Yeah, it's a star. It's
like that.
Star David, and that's like the symbol of it.
All right. Okay. So the guard. Let's see here. The base is in Japan where they're taking it, but So Steve, you exit the top of the roof. You shoot a harpoon gun to get to the helicopter. So let's see here. Oh, this is the next day. You go into a deeper facility where you teleport. There's green uranium here, very radioactive. They're injecting, I guess, me, right?
Yeah, they're injecting you. Yeah, they're injecting you with all kinds of stuff that I didn't even know. But there were syringes next to you, and then there was just all these tools.
You seen
and I just remember you have a picture of it, actually. I seen it. You posted a photo of the big chair with the scientists with the walls around it and stuff. It looked exactly like that.
With the scientists holding the green goo.
Yeah.
Not with the green. Well, I think Christy has that photo, but this is a previous photo that you used to post on your other videos of this cylinder container, and then there's like a chair in the middle. That's what it looked like, and then there was tables where the scientists like moved to have their stuff, and I was just breaking the tables. I was blasting the windows, and then all the alarms started blaring because there was an intruder. But we raided that whole thing. There was
You
people
and Chester,
monitoring the whole situation.
yeah, you said you and Chester.
Yeah, Chester was there too. He was there to interrogate. After we got the handler out, we were able to interrogate him, and then we found his location on Saturn, and then we ended up going to Saturn and blowing him out. It was a huge battle.
Yeah.
So, okay, you are no. I'm 7 foot tall. Is what you described the cyborg that was on being experimented.
Yeah, I remember that.
You're 6'4", and then we're here in background. Here, I'm gonna meet you. Okay, yeah. So let's see here. You are connected to the collective warrior class Kundalini.
Yeah, warrior class
The pink
Kundalini.
flame on Steve's heart. What does that mean?
That just appeared when I was talking to you. The pink flame, it just exploded over my chest when you did my regression.
Because Tian described to me they would put some people in the Alpha Squad through something called the golden form, where it's like this heightened sense of connectedness to everything, and you have more superpowers. Is that similar to what you're describing?
Yeah, that's the Kundalini. It connects you to all levels of consciousness, so you can really morph your body with the crystals that you're wearing, or interact with the suits, or interact with the AI, because your cosmic consciousness is connecting into all aspects of creation. So we can use high technology just in the palm of our hands. And that was actually one of the training tools that we implemented in this program, was dazzling people with our ability to integrate our electronics with our physical body. And
Oh wow. Okay, so let's see here. All right. So they're doing. I'm wearing a visor helmet with black rubber things around my eyes.
Yeah, that was the VR setup that you were in.
So they're probably putting me through torture scenarios.
Yeah, something. I don't know what they had you connected to something crazy, because it was like a whole different universe.
You see that there's a thing too,
Like a
like the
simulator.
pictures I sent of you.
Oh, Christy, you want me to pull up a picture?
Yeah, because there's some, with when you was in the umbrella, then you was like in the middle, and then like the whole branch. I was seeing like there's a whole like circle and branches that the handler had made clones of you and programmed each one of them to do certain things just for himself, though, not for you, just for himself. So once we removed you out of the middle, then all those networks of you, because there was like virtual reality things, so you was in the middle, like plugged in. And so once Steve unhooked everything that was connecting each all the network, then he then the Pleiadians came and got you, and then all of that went down, then so there was no more of that facility where he was keeping you.
Yeah, we reprogrammed everything that they had at that facility. So you did a good job at just being like the mole, I guess.
So
I don't know.
You wasn't even conscious of, like, you was unconscious when you was in, like, you were just hooked up to the virtual reality, like he had like hooks or like things all over your body, like draining your whole energy. That's why Steve was thinking, because your eyes were in that one picture, your eyes were darker, so that's what made him
I look sick.
Remember this.
Yeah, and then all this stuff started coming up when I was searching in for your energy, and I wasn't expecting any of it. I had no idea that this was like what was going on. It's just I read the energy that comes into my body, and I see the things in my third eye as the energy is being
so you should
should
feel better now, because you was removed from that whole facility is closed.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
The Alpha Squad, right?
Yeah, we flushed that whole core, and we got rid of all the energies that were in that facility. And it was a major one. It was a major center.
Yeah.
I don't know where though. They don't tell me where these locations are.
Someplace. I don't know
where.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pocket reality possibly. So let's see here. You're in a Doom suit, Steve, green color, Master Chief style, black casing on torso. I don't know if I put that, said that. Okay, Christine, you're there too. Do you remember this, Christine? Christy?
Well, I didn't go down. Me and Kim, you know, she talks about umbrella. We saw you at a different location, and then like we was communicating with Steve to have him kind of guide him to where you were so he could find you, and then he did. But I didn't go down in there. We was like,
yeah, Christy was just she was like above. She was the eyes, like the bird's eye view, and she would correlate images of what I was seeing.
Oh, that's called an informationer.
Yeah.
So what happens? Yeah, in the battlefield when the electronics are not working, you're connected to I want to call him like a handler, but a partner, an informationer who would telepathically communicate with you and share information.
That's
exactly what happens. That's right to the T. That's what we do. And actually, when we go on missions, Christy and me, if we just go out together, she's usually in the ship relaying information from me when we're finding relics and lost. If we don't have to battle, then we're just going in mountainsides and we're finding relics. Yeah. And she's relaying the information. So yeah, totally agree with that.
What is the Deep Six? What does that mean?
That's dismantling dark energies, AI that's dark too. Like kind of what we did with the umbrella with you is we just dismantle cores and we break the frequency barriers that are around these cores so we can get to them as well, because they put up frequency barriers that you have to just break through them, and then you get to the core, and then you dismantle cores. Or we're dismantling nuclear trigger launches. Like if the Earth raises frequency, there's these trigger responses that set off nukes, and then we dismantle those before that can happen. Because the Earth is raising frequency, and we don't want no nuclear war to happen because the Dark Controller is lost. Yeah, it's like their failsafe. It's like if we can't have our paradise, then we blow up everything around you, and then you can't have anything nice.
Oh yeah.
That's them right there. You know, they go to the bitter end.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's reality, Ryan. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. I'm wearing a gown. There's scientists all around me. I guess they're dead now, but this scientist that was working on me, screaming. He's locked up and put into interrogation room. So the person says he's a clone. So then you go into his mind and find out that he's actually a cyborg. Yeah. So you ask him, why did you experiment on James? And he said, I'm a powerful asset. So he runs this lab room. He's projecting versions of myself, and he's wearing this black suit covered by a white lab jacket. So then you start smashing tables, alarms go off. Yeah. Okay. There are 12 frequency jammer on me. There's 12 levels here. Okay.
Just all like Dante's, it's like the inverted hell, and they built a techno prison over it. It's like Dante's Inferno, but techno hell. That's how I can picture Umbrella. Is they pretty much built metal around deep abysses.
Yeah. Well, for people out there who don't know, Umbrella is from an alternate reality where, they released the Ouroboros virus. I think they tried to release it here back in 2011. It happened in Miami where there was some homeless person eating someone's face on the side of the highway. You can actually look that up. There's video footage of it. I mean, not really close-up footage, but what happened is a crocodile got infected with the Ouroboros and mutated, and then became the zombie apocalypse. So, so they are also responsible for other diseases. We'll see, it was the one in 1918, the influenza. They are also responsible for the one that we're not allowed to talk about here without getting booted, having videos deleted. So anyway,
what's the most pictures? Sent you some more to look at.
Yeah, let's do that. Yeah, let's do that. Not this one.
That's all at the umbrella place, the clone things.
Let's do this section here. We're with the super soldier girl here. We got, is that you, Christy?
Yeah, the redheaded.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. So that's with Alpha.
I was with a black suit. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
And then this is Scarlet Witch as well. I'm also a Scarlet Witch because she can throw the like lasers out her hands, you know. But she's kind of not. She's kind of dark. She's not. It's not like it's a different reality, you know, to where she could just like she's kind of dark, like a dark witch, but
Aspect of
psionic witch.
yourself.
Yeah, she's a psionic witch. Yep.
Okay,
That's
Bush Senior.
Yep. That's what he looks
What?
like.
So why are you portraying him as a lycanthrope?
Because
Werewolf?
that's what he changes into. Yeah, he changes.
Oh.
He trained me, him and Aleister Crowley. I seen them both in a ritual, and Aleister Crowley was doing, I guess, psionic training with me, so I could learn to shapeshift into a werewolf, and so he could already do that though, to awaken.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that goes back to that white mansion where Bush Senior was reading to us kids, and there was that flag with the werewolf holding a swastika. Bush Senior was right there. He had like a top hat on. He was reading this hardback book about all the things us Nazis had to go through. Anyway.
Yeah, he liked, and that's Aleister Crowley. He was just scaring the little kids and probably gonna eat them or something. I don't know what he did. I didn't see that. I'm just thinking that's because he would project himself to be different things to scare kids. Kind of like Michael Aquino too, you know, kind of like that.
So I think this has been confirmed to me, but I guess we can't really prove it. But Barbara Bush is supposedly the daughter of Aleister Crowley.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Let's
move on here.
That's me shapeshifting.
It was painful. What happened?
I don't know. I don't remember. I think it's like a rush, like adrenaline rush or something.
It hurts when you shapeshift. I've had some few occasions where I've experienced that.
I'm sure it is.
Usually in my dragon. Yeah, it hurts.
All right,
and that's
Christy.
an aspect of me in the alpha. Is that Steve? Remember we was working in Florida, going on a mission.
Oh yeah, that was during the regression. We did a live mission when James regressed me, and I started coughing out all this interference, and that's this. Yeah, you look like that.
You know that TV show Alias? You know the TV show with Jennifer Garner? Then I have different aliases that I look like. Because, like, I would go in and act like I was, like, like how she does when she has wigs and stuff on. And then Steve would go in and do his other thing to target somebody. So I would be dressed up as different things like this. Yeah, it's just different aspects that I would look
it's
like.
That I
could look like. Yeah. Just
undercutters. Looking for information.
And that's with Dirk. That's my aspect. That's with Dirk on Mars. That's what she looks like.
So Dirk is my aspect. So
right.
we were having some fun there in the hotel.
Yeah.
But we're also working too, sharing.
Yeah. You had to meet me every week.
Yeah, information was being transferred to this octopus creature, which let's see if I can bring.
Then he was from Orion.
Okay, well we got the sit from the green.
Yeah.
So Umbrella would. So maybe that's what they were actually converting me back into the Hulk on that table there, because yeah. So the green goo. Typically, it's used for healing, but I think the Hulk was actually more gray color, more cybernetic.
Remember, you was doing it for the zombies. You was getting big, and they were doing that so you could go find zombies.
Exactly. So Hulks are immune to Ouroboros. So they were trained. They were created specifically for the reason. I'm going to mute you. Get some feedback. So they were created to kill zombies. In particular. There's let's just say there's give you three examples of different types of zombies. There's a low IQ person, an NPC. So these zombies, when they die, they cannot open a door. They just bang on the door. somebody that's highly intelligent. When they die and become a zombie, they can open a doorknob. So when a super soldier that gets infected and dies, a sleeper super soldier, what happens is they can phase through the door. They can walk through the door. So they need to create hulks to take care of these particular type of zombies. So that's why we were made there. So the actual formula came from a virus. It's more like an AI, a femtonite cocktail from a planet somewhere in the breakaway. But yeah, typically they would inject the clone body and with different formulas, and each time the transformation was extremely painful until they finally get the formula right. Most of the people died, but I do want to mention Anthony Zender. He was in that program. We have Veronica Bartolini. She was the She-Hulk. So there were a few of us out there. I don't know, Steve, you think you might have been the Hulk program? They convert you?
I've had dreams where I've gotten injected and I like turned into the Hulk, and I was like the Greys were injecting me with stuff that turned me into a Hulk. I don't know if it was green serum though. I don't know the color, but I remember hulking up and like busting corridors down, and they would be chasing me to like stop me and stuff like that because I was just freaking out in my dream.
Yeah. So. Wow. Okay, let's just move on here. I mean, there's more. It's just activate. So obviously that's this is from I think the Prometheus. That movie, The Prometheus, is the follow up with the Alien series. So if you actually watch, that's Dr. Elizabeth Shaw. So it has been confirmed that Dr. Elizabeth Shaw is part of the Shaw House. And if you know anything, if you read my book, Shaw House is this breakaway group underneath London. They have a dome there, and it's actually in its own pocket reality. Heather Shaw runs the Shaw House, and her, I guess, higher self name would be Arishagal, the Sumerian goddess of the underworld. So there was actually a mission where I was sent off to take care of her, but I killed her, but she didn't stay dead, and so she had an axe to grind on me. So she sent her sister Janet Shaw to recruit me into Montauk. But what you're seeing here, Christy, is obviously it's not. Don't focus on Shaw.
Just an idea of what his. It's not the actual thing, you know. Like I mean, it's just it's like an idea of what James Ring on the moon. Your clone that's on the moon. He cloned his daughter, and so that would be like her on in example, you know. And then that's him.
So he's full of cybernetics. James Ring looks just like me. He's about 10 years older than me, but he's in stasis now. So
right.
He apparently a lot of the facilities on the moon have been cleared out by the Galactics, and so James Ring is like this, I guess, artifact of a past that they don't really know what to do with, and so
he just is, and then his daughter's the same way. She's like in stasis or something, or however she's like. And then you said he invented the ring that's on your video.
Yeah, when you see the introduction of the show, that's when they ring you up. That's why they called him James Ring, because apparently he invented that. But that particular device, they use like some kind of force field or something to keep you locked in place. So you're kind of like held in place. You're not strapped in, so there's no way to escape.
Oh yeah. Anyway. So you would be like in the middle there, you know, like if it was like a tiny person right there, then like held out, like out, you know, something like that, like the intro.
Yeah, there was like this TV show just out where Westworld.
Yeah.
Yeah, they show that in the Westworld, so it's kind of interesting. So somebody who wrote the script there must have had access to these files. So let's go on. Cyborg.
Oh, that's on Mars, remember? You said.
Yeah, so he's got a copy on Mars, but James Ring was told that by his superiors that he has a version of me on planet Earth, and he said he was told that I'm selling my DNA to make money. And so he was angry at me when I first tried to contact him. He's like, "How dare you do that?" And I was telling him, "Well, they actually abduct me and take my DNA from me. They don't pay me anything." So and I would never even want to. That's just bizarro. But you know, they're all like, it's my daughter.
Yeah, Ring's daughter.
Yeah.
On the moon. She's in stasis too.
Yeah, I know. They're actually. I'll tell you this funny story. You know, maybe Maxine will watch this, but it was Maxine. Let's see, Chloe, the other gal, Amber. They were the girls from that video game. I think maybe Life is Strange. I'm not sure, but so they were actually experimented on Monarch. Yeah, we're getting feedback. I'm gonna mute. I think it's Christy showing that. So yeah, so they would they were being given the cortexiphan, which is featured in the Fringe TV show. This drug will enhance their psionic abilities. So they were able to escape the Monarch base that they were being experimented on. And the thing is, they were addicted to cortexiphan, so if they didn't take it, they would die. But she told me that she knew me on the moon, and she said that we would have a relationship together. So with this other girl, apparently I have a daughter in She told me I have a daughter in Los Angeles that's looking for her father, and so I went on camera, and when she saw what I looked like, she laughed because I'm not the Hulk anymore. But you know, it is what it is. So we can move on. So all right, let's see here, Christy. Let's get you unmuted. So
this is a current, like another reality, but it's kind of current too, of working like in a pod. It's like I don't know, there's nothing around. I was the only worker, like a scientist at this base, and it's like a abandoned base. Maybe Agartha or something. I don't know. It kind of looks like that, but I'm not sure. But I'm sent there to try to get the Stargate up and going. And I need you to come there to give me information, because it's the Stargate to get to your Ark ship. And so you appear there in a hologram, but then you do come to that facility. So then we can put your DNA into the Stargate. And then you regress me on this one, where we went through the Stargate and then went on your Ark ship there, and all the lights were out. We got got onto the ship and walked. We just walked to the back of the ship, and there were people in pods, or stasis or cryogenic, whatever. They're in like a thing, and then the guy was awake though. His eyes was open, and you asked me in the regression, do you want to open it up? And I didn't want to, because I didn't want him to. It was kind of freaking me out, that his eyes was open, and it looked like Isaac Cappy. That's who he looked like. So you opened it up, and he got out of there, and we're like, we're like, help us figure out what we need to do to get the messages from the ship, because we want like the information about the ship and from the ship. So what do we need to do? And so he's like, go sit over there in the middle, and both of y'all, and put on these headsets. And then the ship just like was downloading information to our consciousness. And then you have an AI aspect connected to that ship. So that's your ship. I asked Ivan, tell her about it. And he said, that's your ship. And it's James's ship. And that you have an AI aspect that's connected to the ship. So hang on. 1 second.
There you go. Okay, yeah, the ship's far away, not even in this system anywhere, and it's apparently there's like some tall grays operating it. It's like mothballed. So yeah, it's been a long time since I've operated that thing.
The Ivan said that it's connected to the Orion system, so that's where it's from, your Ark ship. That's where it's stationed at, is in the Orion system.
Interesting, because TN told me I was part of the Orion Club organization, whatever that supposedly means. But
I don't know. I never heard that.
Okay, here we go. The Stargate is not active.
That's going onto the ship. Yeah, we went through that to get on your ship.
All right. So hey, yeah, we'll get that. So Steve, we're almost like we're an hour and 40 minutes into this now. So I really want to get through Christy stuff. So if you want to add anything to it, just pop out.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
just
I'll add if anything
Okay.
resonates with
'Cause
me.
I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm just like Christy has all this stuff. I wanted to share this because this is amazing. Look at what is this, Christy?
that's the Stargate. That's where I was working at, where I was stationed at as a scientist. You know, trying to get that the Stargate open and operating because it was down. So I needed you to come there. I guess you had asked me to go and start it up, and then you'll be there later or something. You know, because then you started appearing when I needed you, and then you came when we had to go through the Stargate to get on to your Ark ship. So this is the Stargate that needed to be um, turned on. It wasn't turned on. It needed your DNA. So it turned on. We went on your arc.
Oh,
And we found your arc.
okay, so I guess I can fill in this. I think we may have talked about it in the other show, but I'll just give a quick run through.
Yeah.
So I have a memory being in the future, and I see myself in this mansion, and there's like robots around us, or me. Well, let's say us, because I think my mom was there, and I think her name was Vicky. And Christy, you helped fill in. That was Borck because you actually knew me in that time, and it was this like cyberpunk type city, and we were right near this huge mansion, was right near downtown. Um, so you were helping me fill in. So apparently, I just got off a boarding ship, where they sent me away, and I was bored with school, and so I didn't really like my father because we were like rich, like Donald Trump kind of rich and famous and rich, and so I would. I guess you told me you remember this me going. We want to fill in where I went to meet you.
Yeah, because your dad is like Anunnaki, I think, isn't he? Wasn't he up there? Didn't say he was like Anunnaki, like a higher, like a kind of where I don't know, like a kind of. I was thinking too. This like part of I saw that it's like Archangel, but I didn't know exactly where he was from. But your mom is Pleiadian, but he's different, and I kept thinking Anunnaki, because of how he looks. But you can, if you find more pictures of him, that's Borck. That's your aspect Borck. That's there on this. It's in Canis Major, and so
2176, I think, because they sent me back in time 200 years, and
okay.
so
So
remember.
this is Borck there. He's just got out of like boarding school. He's home and bored and stuff. So all he does is he's like 17, right? He was like 17. And then there's like a brothel or I forgot the name of the place.
Bills.
Bills.
Wasn't it Bills?
Yeah. And so you go down. He goes down there every day, all day, and just you know gets all the girls' attention. There's all the girls dance because he has money, but they know he has money, but I mean, he just is like he doesn't really care. Like he just doesn't really care. He just is there just to kill time. And so there's observers that would come, and they look like the people on the fringe, and they would come and because they contacted your dad first and said, we need your son to go to Earth to help Earth, or I guess with the I guess the underground stuff. I don't know exactly what he said, but so your dad okays them to come and contact you at that strip club, and those two observers, then they come in there and they keep talking to you, and you're just like, go away, like I'm not doing anything you're asking me to do. Why would I do that for? I'm like, you didn't want anything to do with that at all. And who would really, and so then that's Jennifer. That's my aspect that she's there with her head like back, and so she is pulled in. I guess those observers can like see who you match with or something like that. Like they can figure it out, and so they pull her and they send her to your dad, and your dad approves for her to go and target Borck and have him. So she has to. She's programmed too, monarch programming. So she's going to go and seduce Borck and be like over a period of time, though, not all at once. So she's going to become like his girlfriend, and I think she thinks she is the whole time. She's not. She's programmed, you know. So she's not like faking it, or he would have already picked up on that because they develop a relationship. And then he even goes over to. She lives there, like I guess in an apartment, and then he goes to her apartment and stuff,
I had like this
and then I guess
cyberpunk, was it like a pink and iridescent
oh yeah,
pink
the
and blue
car,
Lamborghini?
yeah, that's the
That's
vehicle,
Gerald.
yeah,
Yeah. Well,
and
anyway.
yeah, and and then so she she doesn't. She also didn't like any girls dancing with you after a while. You know, like because all the girls would still be dancing because you're there all day, nothing else to do. But she would after she was like, yo, was in kind of like in a relationship in a way, and then so she would just like be like hissing or something. I seen her go like the cat hisses at those girls, and so then they would just like go away or whatever, you know. So then I guess he probably eventually left that place. I'm sure she didn't want him to stay there, you know. But anyway, um, so she eventually asked him like, "What would you think of like going to Earth or something?" However, she just said it kind of slowly, you know, like over time. So he wasn't like some other people already asked me that. Why are you asking me that? You know, so he just she said, "Well, will you go with me if I go then, you know?" And then he agreed to go to the science lab place where they were going to be giving taking their genetics and consciousness or however that was needed, those observers. So she walked him into this place, and it was like a, you know, made up place. Like, you know, they just opened this up just for this, just for them. Um, and then so they went there, and Brock was like, "What's going on?" You know, like these guys was already trying to, you know, talk to me, and then so he was kind of mad about that, and then so she had to keep talking to him. I guess I don't know, but I guess he was still kind of mad about it. I'm sure he was, um, but she probably already explained it to him, or he would have left. Anyway, they took both of their consciousness or DNA in suitcases, and then they walked out like through a train, like through a portal there, and then that's like the train,
But there was
like
like,
station.
there was like a pocket portal. They had a portal on the wall,
Yeah,
because
right,
like the next day we came back and it wasn't there.
right.
It's like,
The whole thing was gone. It was
but
vacant
so,
itself.
this train actually goes to other worlds. So
Right,
they go out to there. So who knows
right.
where? And
Where it's like
so
a. Mm-hmm.
the other thing, so these were like the observers, and they're like some kind of archangels that are responsible for the changing the timelines. They can essentially go back in time and reset things over and over again
Right.
until things get right. So on this particular timeline, planet Earth was destroyed in nuclear war. So they wanted me specifically because of who I was in my past lives, and like for instance, I was Daniel Pacer. So I helped build up the United States of America with money from Saint Germain. Well,
Yeah.
that's not where all my some of it. But anyway, so and then I was a super rich guy then. But anyway, so they sent me back, and they told me like I wouldn't remember anything, and see her, and that I would occasionally come back. It can monitor my progress, and they said everything that my life would be taken care of. But then that's when it all got hijacked because that's when the negative Orion groups operate in the same dimension as this planet, the Canis Major, so it was easy to hijack, and that's where we had this super soldier program and Project Surrogate, Ultra Soldier. So
Yeah. There's like an overlapping of things too, you know, of like that Project Surrogate, you know, because that went for a while too, you know. So because I remember being a part of that as well as being, but with this one, they just they used our DNA like you said, and then it got hijacked. So um, I guess mine did too. I'm sure, you know, because we were seeing like realities with zombies and stuff, like fighting zombies and
yeah,
that kind of stuff too.
but I mean, the good news is that we haven't had the nuclear war. So whatever
Yeah,
the
we had a
observers did
positive.
whatever the observers did this go around, we got it right. I
Yeah,
think. I mean, we're not out of the water yet, but
yeah. The dark kept on messing with the time and would mess it up or something a long time ago. And then so the observers was like, you have to get him to go on this date, and if you don't, then we have to reset it all over again, so you need to her like Jennifer had a schedule she had to be on to get you there, so but she was programmed to do all that. She didn't, so then but after then they just split up, and I tune in to Borck still, and he's like he won't talk to me no more. He's like not talking to nobody. So he's like
Yeah. So
mad at me
so
now.
we like, I guess, was like remote viewed like 10 more years into the future,
Yeah,
and he's no longer, he's like estranged from his family, and he's
yeah.
just lives by himself on
Right.
his own bachelor pad, and he's
He's
got
like
doing all
depressed
these
almost
business
like
deals.
that.
Yeah. So,
I think,
but
yeah.
we try to anyway. We'll keep that private.
He won't
Okay.
talk to nobody though. He won't talk to
Well, he'll
to
talk to me, Chris.
Jennifer.
He'll talk to me
Yeah, he will talk to you.
anyway.
Probably only you.
Okay, let's
I
move
don't know
on.
really what you could do about it. I mean, because he's
Okay.
just mad at what happened to him. So that's just
Yeah.
a super soldier, like I guess she's an ultra soldier probably.
Okay. Steve, is there anything you want to say, or we'll go try to get through the rest of these pictures?
Well, we needed to talk about Dirk.
Okay.
No,
All
I got
right.
no comment.
Yeah, that's
Let's see here. Where is he?
that
There he is.
that yeah, that's Dirk. That's another one of your aspects. Okay, so this one is going to be on Mars, where he comes to, and we didn't figure out what my aspect's name is on Mars, but like, so I'll just say I work, or she, or whatever, you know what I mean. So I work out like a like the red light district or something like that, and so I'm like a sex slave there on Mars, and the whoever's like you're sent to me, these people are sent to me, but I am programmed by that octopus being that's down under in the basement. Like after each person, then I have to go down there, and with the tentacle, then they upload inside of the person the information that's needed to give to you. So and then after the job is done, then I would go to the octopus, and he would take the information that I gave you. So every week, Dirk would come there on Mars to. I had my own little room, and I had to, have sex with him and give him the message through sex, and then he would stay the night and then leave that next morning. So that's what he had to do.
So yeah, so I would sit there on the bed in my uniform. So there's like a king size bed, some expensive looking hotel. Of course, we're not go too much detail. So, but you were able to temporarily take your other aspect over and ask him some questions. So we asked him, "Do you work for Kruger?" And he said, "How do you know?"
Mm-hmm.
And so he asked, "Do you know Gabriel Kruger?" So Gabriel Kruger runs Kruger. But it looks like so he's like in a boardroom.
Yeah. So he when he goes back, because he's from another world, he travels there to Mars every, say, Monday or whatever, and for information. Then he leaves that next day and takes it back to the boardroom, and it's like another Earth or something like that, because it looks like that. And like you're in a high rise, and it's a boardroom, and then you're given the messages that I gave to you to give on that day, and then so you give that message. And I don't know what's from the octopus. That's from the octopus that comes to you. So, and he's from Orion, and I don't know who programs the octopus, because it's like an AI octopus thing, and because it just like
Orion AI.
set on it or something, like it injects like inside of you, and then you just like downloads the information to you.
Yeah,
Or
it's got
whatever.
this implant down
Yeah,
there.
and then so. And they do it
Right.
to the guys too. They do it up the butt, and the girls and so then they just like that's how they get the information. And then because there's men there too on that in the red light district that men are sent to there too. So yeah, just your preference. And then so
Okay.
he asked the guy in the boardroom. Dirk is asked What did you ask? You asked him, or he asked you if you know
Oh, if
James?
he knows, yeah, if he knows James Rink, and he's so he says yes.
Mhm. And he's on
Yeah.
another reality though. He's like way back there, like in
Yeah.
another timeline. Another timeline. Yeah, that's the
Feedback.
octopus-headed person, being, not person, and so it's like a evil thing, you know. It's not a good program. I don't think that he's given. I don't know what he's given message, but
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting feedback. All right, I just muted you, but well, let's just go on here. So, yeah, I think that basically covers everything with that one. So yeah, you were wearing these red covers, but yeah, all right. There's so much more. I think let's just move on here because so we got the saber tooth looks like Captain America. So can you explain what's going on here?
that's what you look like. That's what your saber tooth. That's and then you have on your gear and stuff like because you're, isn't he cyborg, like half cyborg? Is Sabretooth half cyborg or AI or something? Or he's not fully human, right? I think he's cyborg.
Oh, there
Some
it goes.
cyborg.
Yeah, left eye is cybernetic, right eye normal, but it actually isn't just infrared. I think it can see interdimensionally too. But yeah. So let's.
Yes, that's what he looks like. But he has on that gear. That is, I think, at the umbrella place, or them just shocking how that we look at first shocked and put through torture. Any
Right.
ultra soldier. Ultra soldier is half AI, right? Half AI, half human, or half cyborg. Ultra soldier.
It depends on what generation you are, but typically they're doing more and more cybernetics as you get more advanced. So let's get this over here. Okay. We got more my clone bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is actually kind of interesting. Years ago, I was working with this other lady, just doing more regression work, and she went down this long corridor to locate some of my clone bodies, and she found some cryopods like this, and the readout, I think, read -55 C. And then it had, so it was like kind of cloudy, like from like frozen, frost. And she kind of rubbed it off and she saw my face in there. She went to another pod and same thing. So it was like and the thing stretched out for probably thousands of feet. So I don't know why they would need that many, but it is what it is. So, okay. We got our mad scientist over here. What's going on with our mad scientist? Gotcha. Let's get you unmuted. Okay. I think we're getting near the conclusion here. We'll get this unmuted. Can't unmute. Can you unmute yourself, Christy? Is it letting you unmute? There you go. Oh, it went back. Maybe we're not supposed to talk about this.
No, we can't.
Okay.
No, it's like because we were seeing that it's the Peter the Insiders who were seeing that is at the umbrella place that's using your body or clone body in the middle of that place, in the middle of that center place, and hooked up to that network of everything, and he is creating these realities, the virtual realities or clones or however, I don't, and of all of you, but he's saying that he is you, so he's like using you to be him, so he could be like, the macho man, because he's not the macho man in this place, so yeah, see,
wow.
he's pretending to be you. Yeah.
Well,
so it's
Peter
using
told me
your energy.
Yeah, he told me that we did a mission together. Well, he was like my commander. It was at the London Olympics 2012. I had an altar called James Mark Sabretooth.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
well, this is an umbrella reality. This is another place where this is where me and Steve were talking about, and where we were sent to rescue you out of that place because you were being siphoned and used by him at that facility.
Oh wow. Well,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
yeah,
Hopefully, he didn't mean. Maybe he meant well. I don't.
I don't know.
Okay. Well.
We all
All
have
right.
the
I
bad
think.
and the good, so maybe he turned good because he didn't. Did the angel who came to rescue him, Steve? After that, because after that, I think he got. I don't know if he was taken up by the Pleiadians. I forget.
No, he probably just got processed. We're not letting
Yeah.
him go.
Oh yeah, so he could just return or whatever. It might
He
have been
can
the bad
he can
version. Like we
burn
all
he
have
can
bad
burn in hell for
versions.
all I care.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Well. Yeah. Just. I mean, all the time I worked with Peter. How come he never mentioned this to me? I
He
mean,
might
why would
not
he?
even know about it though. It's like another aspect or something of him. It's
Keep your
not like
enemies
original.
closer.
Not
That's the whole
original.
mind frame.
Oh
Yeah.
wow. Okay. All right. So we are at the 2 hour mark. So I think we need to call it quits. Um, maybe I'll just go ahead and give Steve. Is there anything else you wanted? Anything else you wanted to mention?
No, just the battles get tough. It wears out the mind. I've gone crazy a few times because of all the stuff that I do. So it's not something that everyone can do because it takes a lot of mind and body connection, and if that's not working correctly, then it can go haywire. So just
I mean, our
don't
mental
don't don't try to be a
health. Yeah.
superhero or anything because it's not easy. I went through trial through fire learning how to do all this stuff because the universe needed someone of my caliber to do these things, and I'm very humbled about it. And it's brought me to my knees and on a few occasions doing a lot of this breakups and just a lot of pain. I've experienced incredible amounts of pain doing a lot of this work,
Yeah.
physically and mentally. I feel it both ways. I cough for hours sometimes, and I actually, when you regressed me, you saw me cough. You thought I was smoking weed, and it wasn't that. I was running into interference during the regression, and I was coughing out blockages. Usually, battling people or clearing out rooms, I'll just cough it all out. So because that's what I do is I'm in charge of the energy that got dissipated, so I have to clean it up right there, right then, and to facilitate it as well. So.
Thank you, Steve. Why don't you tell people about your YouTube channel where they can find you?
You can find me on YouTube on Sheer321. I post a lot of my experiences on there. And I've been involved with building the Diamond Grid, so I have a 2-hour video of me just explaining my experiences, how I feel it, what I see, and the mechanisms that are attached to a lot of these energies that we lay in the universe.
All right, and of course, Christy's over there. A couple great
Yeah, we're
interviews.
doing the interviews and stuff. Like we've just been doing videos, and I'm trying to just get our information out too.
Right, right. Certainly, we just learned out that you were. You think you were Robin, the son of. I mean, the daughter.
Yeah, I'd ask Jim Charles, the channeler, if I was that, because I asked to speak with George Bush Sr. because he can channel the actual being. And so I asked him if I was Robin, his daughter, in this lifetime because I felt like I was. So I don't know.
So
And so
Robin is.
he
Yeah,
said, yeah, it's
that was the
3
daughter that died.
yeah, of leukemia at 3 years old in 1953. And then he had said he put me. I wasn't supposed to find out, I guess, and because he wiped my memories of that. And then he said he put me in a safe place and as Christy. But I took the Karuna Reiki class and my Kundalini activated and all the doors of my mind opened up to all of this stuff that's coming up. That comes to my memories of everything. So that's like, and the things that I ask the channelers, I already know the answer to. I just ask for confirmation, because I can see it already I can see the memory of it, and because I match the energy. If it doesn't match, then I don't, then we don't say it. I don't say it if it doesn't match. And
Yeah. Thank
Everything
you.
that I say is our truth of what we see and experience is our truth.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mhm.
All right. So if you want to learn more about the work I do, go to Neological Tech or supersolartalk.com and get a copy of my book at that website, and a meditation cube to help you relax. So yeah, I want to read this last little quote here from Thomas, my other aspect, and I guess we'll call it a day here. So I just want to end this experience and end this place. I just want to end. I'm stuck in this body due to lies from a contract I was tricked into signing. I'm like the center of a wheel. Each spike has a clone body of me. I'm an adult. I'm a child. The center of the spinning wheel says, stop. I'm done. I want to disconnect from this experience. I'm the only one standing in the middle, united. I wish it to end, and I fell into a black hole, and I woke up from a dream. It's like a huge bubble. I can feel the pain of my body, so they do things to me to manipulate me from the pain. It's not a dream. It's not a hallucination. It's something I'm pulled into like a vacuum. Nothing can help me out. I'm the center of it all. I'm also the creator. I create through the altars put into me. Once I know they exist, they can't control me. I can say enough. I do not want to be controlled by you. Now I can. So with that, we'll go ahead and call it. So thank you all for joining us.
That reminded me of you being in the umbrella place.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to read that with the spikes in the wheel. That's how the altars are all laid out.
I saw the umbrella. Were you in the middle?
Yeah, certainly. And the Humpty Dumpty programming. We'll just save it for another time. Go get the book. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day wherever you may be, past, present, and the future. Send you all love and light.
Bye-bye.
Okay. See you all. And please consider supporting Super Soldier Talk by purchasing your own Neo Meditation device. Your Neo Meditation device will help you reduce stress, integrate trauma, enhance intuition, enhance clairvoyance, and enhance creativity. Get yours now at www.neologicaltech.com.